Welcome to Deserts of Karak. Welcome back to the past. This is Majiir Paktu speaking, and we have Artifact Cup 13. Throwback Cup. First map is the Shallows. Is it this one? It's not that one. Not that one. The Shallows? There we go. Alright. So, this is me versus Descara. We're going to watch from Descara's point of view. It shouldn't matter much because I've got my little replay tech viewer mod installed so that I can view both players' technology choices during the replay, but still we'll see Descara's sensor range since I haven't figured out how to make that work better yet. And so this is game one on the Shallows. This is in the semifinals. Descara had previously fought Megarith and I had previously fought Coercer, and both of us emerged victorious. So here's Descara opening up onto CUs, and is he retiring his base runner? He's not.
Go for carrier.
Let's see, going for a support cruiser? I don't know. We'll see.
Port's green.
And on the other side of the map, we have me in the Galcian, which I believe I played Galcian this entire cup, and this is a little rare, as I mentioned in my game versus Coercer. I don't play Galcian as much. I tend to play a lot of Knef, or maybe occasionally Coalition, and I used to play a lot of Coalition. I think this was probably my first cup that I played pure Galcian, although maybe in 12 is when I switched over. In any case, this is Artifact Cup 13, and the most recent cup that we played a couple weekends ago was Artifact Cup 28. So this was a while ago in Artifact Cup terms.
We got an assignment. RU's identified. Advance and evaluate.
And, you know, I honestly have no memory of this game. There's only one game where I really remember playing against Descara on Shallows, and it wasn't this game, because I played a different faction then. So, Descara's got his early support cruiser. He did not retire his base runner to get that support cruiser, so it wasn't as early as it perhaps could have been, but it's still going to free him up to move his carrier forward, get more salvagers onto these expansions, and now he's going for the LAV tech. Meanwhile, I've had Sandscammer tech for a little while, and I haven't picked another tech choice yet, but I do have some Sandscammers going out onto the field. And I mentioned in my game versus Coercer, which I believe was also on the Shallows, that I tend to do this a lot. I used to do this a lot around this time, is sort of build a few Sandscammers, set up this sensor network, and make sure that nobody could, you know, sneak in and attack at any of these angles. And I think it's because at this time, I didn't really know how to read a build. I didn't know how to go and look and say, okay, what is he doing? What is he likely to be building? What should I be careful of? So the next best strategy that I had for survival was just to see it coming before it hit my base, and so that I could do something to react there. So these Sandscammers, while I could be actually doing quite a bit of damage right now if I'd produced more of them and come up and maybe raided this resourcing spot, they are just going to be scouting for now and providing a bit of cover for my base runner, which has grabbed an artifact, and potentially threatened Descara's base runner, who's also grabbed an artifact. So not a whole lot going on here. Descara's got a scouting LAV out himself.
Displace to that CU field.
Fleet logistics module out.
Move order confirmed.
Rally point set. Move to location.
On our way. We're moving.
Meanwhile, Descara is producing his first AAV. He did research that tech shortly after getting his support cruiser out. And on my side, I have researched railgun tech.
Displacing now.
So hopefully, I say hopefully because, oh yeah, I am building some railguns, some assault railguns. I don't really remember what my gameplay was like at this time. I'm just watching the casts and going, oh yeah, like I used to do this whole thing with Sandscammers in the middle. So I don't really know what I'm going to do with these railguns. I don't know what I'm going to do with this production cruiser. I have not yet researched refinery mode, so it seems to make sense to move this production cruiser out and build with it.
Prep for displacement. Prep for mobilization.
Descara's put a turret here, which I want to say is in a bad position for him because of this hill. It's a very slight hill, but it means that it's going to be very hard for him to do anything with that. It does sort of guard this region in here, though.
Coordinates confirmed. Strike craft destroyed.
Just a Sandscammer going down here.
Coordinates confirmed. Armor, go ahead.
A couple of assault railguns out now for me. And this is a bad fight. What am I doing here? Really? Like, Well, Descara's tank is having some trouble maneuvering, but yeah, against the turret here as well, this is not a fight that these sand skimmers want to be in.
Armor is en route.
Yeah.
Fleet logistics module out. Light attack vehicle.
So out of the sand skimmers that I had, only 3 will survive. I do now have a heavy railgun, which is going to be really good if I can use that.
Secure location marked.
Enemy contacts on the board. New heading set. Move order confirmed.
For a moment, there was the high ground advantage there, so part of the issue is that I don't really have enough scouting to be able to get the shots off on those AAVs. But that would allow me to apply a lot of pressure if I used that.
Move out. Coordinates
Descara instead is going to sort of fight back with his carrier. He doesn't have another support cruiser here yet, but he does have some carrier power, and I don't yet have enough railguns to really threaten his carrier.
New heading. Just.
Behind that, he's building a lot of LAVs, which are a decent counter to the heavy railguns. Perhaps pretty vulnerable to these assault railguns, but we'll see if I am good enough with assault railguns at this time to do anything about that.
Be advised. Enemy support vehicle authenticated. Confirmed. Move order confirmed.
Meanwhile, you know, I don't know where my base runner is.
Salvager
Am I blind? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Green line confirmed.
Descara's LAVs coming in. No upgrades on them at this time. My heavy railgun is getting cut out, which is awful. The assault railguns are faster, and we're behind those lines. So instead, it's going to be kind of a sand skimmer LAV fight here. Maybe the assault rails come in, but it looks like Descara's going to run away, which is the right thing to do. And he's really able to just string along these sand skimmers and destroy them. So that is not a very good engagement for me.
Railgun online.
Eyes open out there. Roger. Displacing now. Hostile strike craft down.
And notice, just like in Corsa's game, I'm only just now getting refinery mode. I have 2 production cruisers, but I was only remote mining off of 1 point and not mining at all off of the other point. Descara, meanwhile, is mining off of all 3 points. So his economy is doing way, 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 way better than mine ever could be. And that's really showing with the units he's able to produce now. He's got railgun tech coming out. He doesn't have missile or air tech, but he is producing a 3rd support cruiser, which will allow him to free his carrier from resource drop-off duty. And he does have these LAVs, which are going to be a real pain in the butt for my base runner.
Team en route to recover the artifact.
Light attack vehicle is under fire.
I tried using a little repair thing here. What I didn't know, though, is that the repair ability on the Gaussian base runner actually helps enemy vessels, too. So, I don't know how to use that very well, obviously. Especially, it's definitely not good with LAVs, because I just healed up his LAVs, which isn't something that Coalition units normally can do.
Clear to proceed. Push up to that point. Base runner responding. Get her moving.
So now this is really hazardous for me. These railguns, these Coalition railguns have much better range and also have the option to get the high ground, and we'll be able to do a whole lot of damage taking out some of my assault railguns here. These assault rails are really much better used trying to take out this AAV in order to protect my resource expansion.
Armor vehicle taking effective fire.
And that they will do, but I will not be able to challenge the base runner from Descara there. Meanwhile, mine is down, so he's going to have an artifact lead. And so now, while my economy is up, my military is much, much weaker, and I'm not really applying it very well. Here's 1 assault railgun defending the production cruiser, and there really needs to be more like 3 here in order to defend against this wave. And now there's a 2nd, but these assault rails are pretty out of position, not doing much. And I don't have any units that are really going to be able to deal with these railguns. I am producing heavy railguns now, so that's good. But still, so many assault railguns. And if we look at the tech choices here, I only have railgun armor level 1. I do not have the dart maneuverability. I don't have any heavy railgun tech. So tech-wise, I'm very much behind. And Descara, meanwhile, has air tech, is building strike fighters. It does not have any upgraded railguns, but is upgrading his LAVs. And that will allow them to be more effective against these assault railguns. So now he's moving forward.
Coordinates confirmed.
And these LAVs are going to provide a lot of scouting for these railguns, while also revealing the presence of my heavy railguns as they fire back. Oof.
Be advised. Team en route to recover the artifact. Strike fighter online.
We got something on the horizon. Waiting for eyes on to authenticate. Light attack vehicle.
These assault railguns at that range just cannot do anything, and so several of them will be destroyed before they even close the gap, if they ever do. Sitting back here, they're just not doing anything. Now strike fighters are coming in, which are going to clean up any stragglers remaining. Some of these railguns will go down with some supporting fire from a couple heavy railguns up here in a really nice spot, where they can get the high ground and have really no line of sight obstructions against anything. But these are coming up against now a carrier producing railguns. So while these heavies are doing a great job at taking out Descara's railguns, there are strike fighters out, and there are a lot of LAVs here with a carrier in support. So this is looking a little dire. I don't have as many resources coming out. I am producing sand skimmers, which is probably not the right move. It would be nice if I was able to build, say, assault ships, or just more assault rails to be able to deal with these LAVs while still having a bit more firepower, because these sand skimmers are not going to be able to do a whole lot against upgraded LAVs. And these heavies are going to do almost nothing against that. These should have been prioritizing the carrier the whole time. You can see pretty significant damage being done to this carrier, even just with these two railguns. And if these railguns have been firing the entire time, the carrier might be driven back a little more now. As it is, Descara is still above half health and still able to be producing strike fighters and railguns. So this is looking to me like it's GG. I think at this point in the game, modern day Majiir at least would be surrendering. And we're going to see how long it takes past Majiir to realize that it's really over. Yeah, not very much longer. Probably just enough time to say GG, well played.
Battle report. Hostile carrier has been destroyed. Hostile forces are...
So, game one goes to Descara with a vastly superior economy and a bit better use of railguns on that map. So, game two is going to be Clash Teeth. That's this one. And this is, again, going to be kind of fun to watch because I don't know how this game went. I remember another cup that I played against Descara and how that one went, but I don't remember which one that was. That might have been Artifact Cup 19 or something like that. I don't know. This is 13. This is just beyond my memory. For any game that wasn't just absolutely outstanding, I don't really remember any details of it. So we're here on Clash Teeth. Descara is opening on RUs and CUs, which tells me right now that this is probably a fast AAV open. He's also retiring his base runner and immediately going for LAV fab. So there's no way that I could have scouted this right away as a Gaussian player, but you know, it would be possible if I'd moved out my base runner and gotten a scanner in here or something like that, that I'd be able to figure out what's going on. And you can sort of tell where the extra salvagers are being used based on the arrangement of these. So on my side of the map, sand skimmer fabrication is coming in pretty early. Extra salvagers coming in a bit slow because it appears that I have gone double production cruiser, having also retired my base runner. And I mentioned before that this is a build I just don't do anymore. It's just too easy to be overwhelmed by AAVs, and there's Descara getting his AAV fabrication, and my guess is, just knowing nothing about this game, having no memory of it, but seeing what's going on here, my guess is that I just lose horribly, and that Descara just rolls his AAVs right into my base, while my production cruisers accomplish nothing, because I have only sand skimmers. And I'm guessing that the few RUs that I have, notice that I've built a salvager, a couple salvagers here on RUs, but only 4 on CUs. I haven't gone to my expansion for more CUs. I'm guessing that those extra RUs are going to go to sand skimmer armor, something like that, which, you know, gives them a little bit more staying power against these AVs. but I still can't exactly go head-to-head unless I was building just tons of sand skimmers and swarmed them all around the AAV all at once, just one AAV at a time. Maybe in that situation I could do something about it. And that still assumes that Descara does not get any kind of heavy vehicle armor. So here, I see the units. I'm going to retreat a little bit. I really hope I get to take out an AAV, but in order to do that, I have to move these sand skimmers and these sand skimmers to the middle fast. Either that or I'd have to try and choke off his economy, but it's still just such an unlikely thing that I could win right now.
Coordinates confirmed.
And this is part of my distaste for Coalition. This build is just so easy to just build AAVs and just run them into the enemy base, and it's very, very hard to counter. And if your enemy is Coalition,
Green line confirmed.
there are just so many builds that you can't do that would otherwise be pretty interesting, because this is always a possibility. It's just so hard to have an interesting game when it's a short map and one player is Coalition, at least in the early game, because the AAVs are just so obnoxiously powerful. And I say that even when I've used it as a Coalition player. There was a game in the finals, I believe, of Artifact Cup. I don't remember what the number was, but it was a cup where I was in the finals playing as a Soban player, and I did something like this, where I just built AAVs and just ignored the enemy units and said, you know what, this is stupid. I was on stream and I was saying, I hate this build. I'm using it to win right now and I just hate it. You know, he can build another AAV or two back home, and these sand skimmers can do absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, I have no salvagers back home. And it's just obnoxious. In my opinion, AAVs, to be more balanced, should have highly upgradable armor. I think that their final armor that they get after 3 levels of upgrades should be far higher than it is now. They should be able to take significant railgun hits. But their early game armor, I believe, should be reduced. Rather than running at, you know, so what's a sand skimmer's damage? It's pretty low, right? At this point. There we go, damage of 15. You know, it'd be real neat if AAV armor was something like 5 to start with, but level 1 immediately brought it up to, like, I don't know, 12, 13. To require a little bit of investment, because right now, as you can see, I can swarm this AAV, but I'm going to take such heavy losses doing it, and the smoke is going to prevent anything being able to target that. So, in my opinion, AAVs are not exactly balanced. Their balance really is just that they're not as useful in late game because they do almost no damage and are so weak. Even, you know, in the late game with 3 armor upgrades, they cannot really withstand railguns. So, I don't know. These are just, they're so powerful early game, and it just makes no sense for a Coalition player most of the time to even build LAVs because the AAVs are so powerful. Oh well, this is clearly a game from before I realized that going double production cruisers against Coalition players is not really the best idea. At least not the way I did it. Perhaps if I'd had sand skimmers in his base right as his first AAV was popping out, then that would have been okay. But as it is, I have no economy. There's an AAV here to make sure of that. And my production cruisers will be going down as well.
Strike fighter online.
And we just heard Strike Fighter online here. Descara has 3.
An enemy light attack vehicle marked on approach. Move! Go, go!
So maybe what we'll do is just take a look at the graphics, since this is just clearly a game that's over. Oh, that's too bad the UI still appears there when we're in glass mode.
Course set. Point set.
And that sounds like I have just surrendered.
Battle report. Hostile carrier has been
Certainly not too soon.
Mission success.
So, Descara will move on very easily into the finals. We've just been watching the first of the 2 semi-final matches. Next up is going to be the victors of the bottom portion of the bracket. You should go watch the quarterfinal videos if you don't know who that is. I'm not going to spoil it. But I will be casting that semifinals game next, and then it will be on to the finals. So there will be more coming soon. Thank you for watching.